The final chapters for each of the surviving Stark children in Game of Thrones are foreshadowed by the show's very first season. For a long time, Game of Thrones was the undisputed king of television, regularly smashing records and racking up critical acclaim for fun. The big-budget HBO production began to derail after moving away from George R.R. Martin's source material, and Game of Thrones Season 8 has been widely derided as a poor conclusion to the beloved fantasy series. Nevertheless, there are many staunch supporters of the Game of Thrones finale, all of whom maintain that the ending was in keeping with previous seasons. Game of Thrones is a story of many different rival families settling their disputes on a continental scale, but the tragic Stark clan are undoubtedly the heart and soul of Martin's tale. The Starks occupy Winterfell, the last stronghold before reaching the infamous Wall to the north, and Eddard Stark, played by and on brand Sean Bean, serves as both Warden of the North and the head of the Stark family. Ned's death triggers a series of events that reverberate across the land, sending the Stark children down a path of woe and misery, and when Game of Thrones Season 8 ends, the only survivors are Sansa, Arya, Jon Snow and Bran, as well as the adopted Theon. While the Game of Thrones finale will always be divisive, the endings of these 5 Starks all trace back to the very first season. Each of the surviving Starks began their Game of Thrones story wanting something desperately, and by the final episode, their wishes have been fulfilled, albeit usually at great cost. Here's how Game of Thrones Season 1 sets up the ending of each Stark survivor. Sansa may not be the youngest of Ned and Catelyn Stark's brood, but she was perhaps the most naive initially. Played by Sophie Turner, Sansa Stark begins Game of Thrones Season 1 enamored with the idea of becoming queen. She fawns over the bratty Joffrey Baratheon and dreams of their future life together, a whirlwind of fancy engagements, beautiful dresses and public adulation. So determined is Sansa to achieve this dream, she is willing to overlook the obvious flaws of the Lannisters instead of supporting her own flesh and blood. Upon the conclusion of Game of Thrones Season 8, Sansa's goal of becoming a beloved and powerful queen has been achieved. When the dust settles on the final battle, Sansa is officially acknowledged as Queen in the North, taking over Winterfell and commanding the respect of her people. Sansa now possesses the crown and throne her Season 1 self always dreamed of. In what will become a recurring pattern, Sansa's adult life is far from the idyllic picture she imagined. Witnessing the beheading of her father scuppered Sansa's Disney-esque notion of becoming queen, and her brief partnership with Joffrey proved pure torture after Sansa could no longer deny her former crush was a monster in human form. Sansa endured further horror at the hands of Ramsay Bolton, and the persistent creeping of Littlefinger, before finally becoming Queen of the North on her own terms. While Sansa might have achieved what she once hoped for as a child, the hardships she endured along the way created a very different type of monarch that Sansa might have aspired to be in Game of Thrones Season 1. So, guys, I hope you like this video and please give us like, share, and subscribe my YouTube channel.